You got schooled with Penny and Martin, the real and raw about today's education,
Listener discretion advised, not for the faint of heart.
nor the easily offended.
This is episode 5, Teacher Burnout, brought to you by...
It's brought to you by Burnham Creations.
Yes.
Just a minute.
Burnham Creations.
Burnham Creations. Tumblers, gifts. You can find them on Facebook. You can find the link to their website down below. You can find them Burnham dash. Oh no. Hyphen. I have one. I don't know. Burnham creations.square.sites. SITE.
And again, we will put it in the link or something below.
Link in the
Will do that.
I will do that.
Okay, so again, this is episode 5,
Teacher Burnout. Hot.
This is You've Got Schooled.
I'm Penny.
I'm Martin.
We already said that.
Did we? No, we didn't.
Yes, I did. I
Did you
did
do
at
it?
the very beginning.
Again,
This
I'm
is how
starting.
this week's gone. This is the 5th time we've tried to start this, and we're not starting it again. So
No.
you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
Yes. You're slap happy.
I'm just ticked.
Okay, so tell me about your week so far.
This has been one crappy week.
The whole week.
The last 2 days have been horrible. I, yesterday, during the last part of the day, could physically feel my blood pressure rising.
Did you eat a grapefruit?
Yes, because I happened to keep one in my pocket.
No, you typically can have one in your fridge.
No, I didn't. I didn't have one. It's been really bad. I have either walked up and down the halls thinking to myself, if I work... No, I mean, shout out to the Walmart greeters. I am thankful for you. I always have my receipt out for you to check.
You know you don't have to do that, right?
I think
very
it's
nice
it's
of
the
you to
right
do.
thing to do. Now I hear they're not checking receipts anymore.
Well, because they can't.
Check the receipts!
Only Sam's
Isn't that
Club.
what people do when they're looking for proof of stuff? Oh, really?
Yeah, because you buy a membership, so you have to show it.
I see. Anyway,
This is not Walmart or Sam's.
no. Thinking to myself, how many jobs do I have to work in order to pay my bills so that I don't have to do this anymore? Or I feel seethingly angry. Or like I need to buy a heavy bag and hang it up somewhere so I can punch the ever living out of
I was
it.
thinking it was more like the little bags that you...
Oh, no, I'm afraid I'd probably pass out if I did that.
Probably.
But yeah,
I think I'm going to practice Would You Like Fries with that.
teacher burnout. That's okay.
Honestly.
That's a good one. Yeah.
What, $15.99 an hour?
Yeah. Would you like fries with that?
They give you full
Can
insurance.
Yeah.
You can have potential of getting
Management, scholarships.
working your way up.
Because at any point in time, at least for the past 48 hours, I have thought that there's got to be anything better that I could be doing than this. Like these are the 48 hours that teachers think to themselves, the hell am I doing? Why am I here? What am I doing here? I'm not making a difference. I definitely have not made a difference the past 2 days.
Hold on.
No,
Making the difference.
just let me
Okay,
rant.
Go. Okay.
I know in my heart of hearts that
It was you beating
um,
or slap.
I know that in my heart that that's probably not true, but that's sure how my students have made me feel. So
Do you think it's making a difference educationally? Because education and that emotional, because I know you make a difference in both of them.
I just don't feel like it right now anyway. And
On either of them?
Yeah, probably. And, maybe it's just me throwing myself a pity party, and that's fine. I'll get over it. I'll be fine on Monday. I am so tired of disrespect. I am tired of blatant hostility from 14, 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. I am tired of I don't have to do a damn thing you tell me to do, whether it is by your words telling me that or by your actions telling me that. Um, it's hard. This gig is hard. And now, college graduates, I just read today, college graduates who this is their first week, their first year, sorry, their first year in education will last 5 years. It's in and out because of burnout.
What do you think is causing the burnout? Because I know there might be, depending on what type of teacher you are. Because I know if I would have stayed in the special education area, I would have no longer been teaching. And it had nothing to do with my kids.
Right.
Absolutely love my kids. It was the paperwork, the things that were passed that I did not agree with, that it was not for the best well-being of the child.
Or the other children that are in the classroom with the child.
Trying to teach. And so, I mean, I've got my master's in special education with an emphasis in behavior and emotions. And microphone.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So it was the paperwork and the legal retaliation that would be placed on me if I did not make the right choice.
And I don't think people realize that.
No.
Like, there are legalities that are
in teaching in general.
I'm
not saying special
Yeah.
education
Yeah.
is more than the other. However, there is a strong emphasis that you are making these choices, these individual educational plans for these kids, that they're going to succeed. And I felt like a lot of these plans that I even wrote up, I was checking off boxes.
I think that's a lot of what we do.
And I could not ethically handle it anymore. And so I actually took this job here at the school within the special education program, even though that's not what I was applying for. It's what allowed me to get a foot in the door to this
Right.
specific school. And as soon as I did my 1 year, I went to our principal and I told her, I want to be able to stay here, but I'm not going to be in special education. I can't do it. And the amount of time that was put into developing these plans. And
Well, and the emphasis, I think, even though the paperwork is obviously on the student, the emphasis is actually taken off of the student
and put on
because
all
you're too
teachers.
busy. Yeah. Well, not only that, but you're too busy making sure that the legalities are done and your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed.
Yes.
That's time that should be spent then with the student, helping them to get where they're at.
Absolutely.
And the system's broken.
It
Like
is.
the whole entire system is broken. And the fact that you have to call it a system in the first place is sad.
should be emphasized as a unit.
I think the thing that makes, one of the things, because there are many about education that makes me upset, sad, infuriated, is that it is the higher ups, and I am talking people in Capitol buildings, people in
Department of Education.
the Department of
Sorry to call you
Education,
guys out,
maybe.
but nah. Sorry, not sorry.
That are making the decisions for us. And some of them might not have ever stepped foot in a classroom.
Except for their actual schooling
Yes.
themselves.
Or they haven't been in a classroom for 20, 25, 30 years. You're not in the trenches. You are not boots on the ground. You have no idea. It is word spin and what I politely refer to as word vomit, and you don't have any idea what you are doing is truly not for the good of the student. If it were, you'd have yourself in the classroom
Yeah.
finding out, not just a meet and greet type of shaking hands, kissing babies type of thing.
Actually
That's
sitting in the
not,
classroom and seeing what we're doing.
more than one visit type of thing. So yeah, this was just one of those. Like I didn't have I didn't feel like a teacher.
This week.
I was a babysitter.
Redirecting, correcting.
Documenting.
Oh,
Like I am spending so much time focusing on this one particular thing that I can't focus on the things that I really need to focus on. It's been hard. And you talk about teacher burnout. These are the types of weeks that I will go home and look for a new job. Yeah, these are the types of weeks that cause it. And inevitably, I'll be walking my classroom on Monday.
Whole different tune.
And I have a spittling of students' names that come to mind that are going to say something to me and make me laugh, some wheezy type of laughter, or say just the right thing authentically.
Yes.
And I will be like, okay, God, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I know this is where I'm supposed to be. I know that life, whether it's your work or your personal life or whatever, is a series of hills and valleys. And you do not get, if you stayed up on top of the mountaintop all of the time, then you wouldn't grow.
Nope.
Type of thing. You grow in the moments that you're in the pit or in the valley. But I'm just tired of being here.
Yet we're still here. Honestly, it's hard to admit the teacher burnout because we do have more of those ups than we do downs.
We do.
However, when we have those downs, they're down. I mean, they really are down.
If I had $1 for every time I said this week, the hell are we doing? I would be able to go to dinner and take you to dinner.
Chinese sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that earlier.
We did talk about that earlier.
Yeah.
And probably have some left over,
I know we've been working with a group of kids.
Yeah.
Each Monday and Tuesday, and I've wholeheartedly enjoyed it. I really have. It was hard to kind of get into the motion of what are we doing here, but when they realize that this is an open forum, that they can be, open and honest, they can tell me stuff, I can tell them stuff. It's been great. And so this week we talked about empathy. Yeah. And this job, I think any job that you are working, and I don't want to say job, any career path that you have chosen, that you are working with kids, specifically teenagers, I feel can create the teacher burnout, but not in the sense that you're getting overwhelmed and annoyed by the kids, but because of the emotion that you tack on with those kids. And we've talked about it before. I'm here to build bonds with kids. Education is second. And I know there's a lot of people that disagree with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that
and
are
I'm
like,
sure
oh my God.
my administration's not happy about that.
I don't know about that.
You think it would be okay?
Those are the things that are stressed because.
And this is before the SEL stuff.
Yes.
The building emotion with kids, because I know if I create a bond with a kid, they are going to be more susceptible or more excited about learning what it is that
Yes.
I'm putting out
They
there.
are going to be much more accepting of that.
Well, and then determining how they learn.
Yeah.
You know, I know you just showed me something that we both have this individual student, and they did a Poe music.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
And so being able to, those are the
Yes,
highs.
yes.
Those are the highs. And so even though we have these days, and I know this week, the last 2 days have been awful. I think Thursday was awful for you because I wasn't here.
Yeah.
So that kind of, being able to bounce stuff off me
Yeah.
and calm you down. And then
Yeah.
I didn't really get to see you first thing this morning
I
because I had
know.
class. So I know that your friendship is what keeps me grounded and keeps me from metaphorically chopping kids.
Whatcha?
Chop, chop. So
Yeah.
teacher burnout, I think, is just, it's inevitable,
It is inevitable.
and
And shout out to Tara the Para.
Tara the para.
She and I have this saying that we remind each other a lot of. We get older and our students' ages stay the same. I mean, my freshmen will go on to be sophomores, but the next freshmen that come in, if I'm here doing what I'm doing, will be the same age. And I will be another year older and maybe just a tiny bit more crotchety type of thing. So I think there's, I don't know, sometimes something to be said for that. But it's difficult. I know I keep saying that.
No.
There's a lot that I would love to say, but I want to think before I speak because I know it's been just a really bad.
You don't want to speak out on emotion.
On emotion. I do not want to do that. So, next week I'm sure that it'll be something else and it'll be fine.
With that, I know that we talked about several different things with the teacher burnout. One being the emotional impact that we have, kids being disrespectful. I think the disrespect, and we're going to put it out there, comes with the cell phones. I really think
Yeah.
cell phones
I do too.
change students' behavior because it is a straight up addiction.
It is.
And
It is like a hit. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
It's like taking a hit on
and
something.
it affects them educationally because they're too focused on, who's texting them, who's liking their Instagram and all that stuff that I don't know a whole lot about. And it takes away from them socially. It causes emotional turmoil.
Yep.
And I'm at the point that I think I'm going to start taking away phones.
I do too.
think-
Like at the beginning of
Yep.
class. Like
you come into
don't even
class,
have it.
your phone goes in a cubby, and if you don't turn in a phone, I need an email from a parent saying you're grounded from it, or you don't get your points for the day.
It is getting to be really cumbersome. It's really bad, and it's gotten bad. And remember when I said a couple of podcasts ago, it was so hard at the beginning of this year. Like it was one of the top 3 worst years I've ever had. But as the semester rolled on, it really got to a point where I was like, these young people are awesome. I love them, which I do. But it's like we've regressed.
Well, I think that has to do with the break.
I do too. And then we had all those snow days. And so we haven't even gotten a chance really. We've had 2 full weeks of school now since
And
January,
not.
whatever. Yeah, and you
have
haven't.
had one.
Yeah.
This week was your first full week back.
I had a full week back last week.
No, you missed half of Monday because we had
Oh,
PD.
well, we had
so,
PD,
I mean,
yeah.
technically we had school,
Right.
but you weren't in your classroom
Right.
for a full week.
Yeah. And there's a new mix of personalities in every class.
And we've talked about
And
that.
we've talked about that before, but the phone usage is really bad. I have parents texting kids in class. I have them calling and I'm sure that the first thing that somebody or a parent is going to say is, well, that's my child and I can have access to them 24/7. I am not disagreeing with that.
Absolutely
No,
not.
nobody's going to tell me that I don't have access to my child. That is not what I'm saying. But if it's an emergency, then call the office,
Yeah.
and let that be that. Because it upsets the whole entire feng shui of what is going on in the classroom, because then they either have to secretly check their phone, which I'm pretty good at catching,
Right.
and then I take it away and they don't have it, or they raise their hand to say,
To be
which they're
respectful.
really good about. They
Yeah.
are really good about that. Mrs. Fleming,
My mom just texted
my
me.
mom
Can
just
I text her
texted me,
back?
and I'm sitting here with a running Rolodex. Why is your mom texting you in class? Type of thing. And they don't want to say no to their mom and dad.
Well,
That's their mom and dad.
Well, and a lot
Or-
of them have been told, you need to be texting me back
Yeah.
when I send you a text, which I completely get.
I do too.
However, during the class time period is not the time to do it. If there is a complete emergency, call the office.
Yeah.
We will get a hold of your child. They will even beep you into our phone and you can talk to your child right then and there. But it is very, very frustrating to have to redirect over and over because of text messages, even phone calls.
Yes. Yes.
And then on top of having the social
Yeah.
media portion of it,
Like every time that thing goes off, they want to know. I mean, it literally, I get there.
Yep, that tweak.
It
and that
is.
itch
Yeah. It's
of
it's
needing
bad.
to respond.
It's bad. This is what I'm going to get. But why we can't even listen to music? Sure. Pull up Spotify on your Chromebook.
Yep.
But I don't have Spotify.
Download
Well,
it.
then download it or download
YouTube.
whatever. Watch
YouTube
it on.
Music.
I'll let you watch YouTube for your music. That's more than fine. I can see what you're doing, But yeah, and not only that, but some of the social media posts
Oh my
that have
gosh.
been going on, like they don't understand that sometimes there could be legality ramifications for some of that. So it's just, and it's also that empathy portion, like what teacher burnout. It's a real thing.
I think we're feeling it. Hopefully
We are feeling it.
it'll disappear.
Yeah.
over
I
the
hope
next-
so. I hope so. I'm glad it's Friday.
TGIF.
Yeah. I was going to say I had a class yesterday that I kept track. I finally started tallying. And in a 9-minute span of time, I had the 10 different students ask if they could get on there. Can we get our phones out now? Can we get our phones out now? Can we get our phones out now? Nope. Nope. And, or can we get our phones out and thank you for asking and not just doing it, because that's the precedent that I have set. You ask first. Sometimes it's going to be yes. A lot of times it's going to be no.
On downtime.
Yeah.
I know I've had, especially my juniors. My juniors are really good at, hey, work is calling me. Do
Yes.
you mind if I step out?
Yeah.
Okay, this is them trying to create, I guess, the adult maturity and responsibility.
Mhm.
By all means, take your phone call outside. I appreciate you asking. I don't know if I've ever been talked or asked in the middle of a lecture. Now, I know last year I had a student take a phone call.
Oh yeah,
in
I've had
my
that happen.
classroom.
I've been lecturing. I have a student pick up the phone like, what is going on?
And I looked at him and I go, can you take your phone call out in the hallway? And he goes like this.
See, that makes my insides.
What is that?
Just thinking about that.
Like,
That's the kind of, I mean, there's so much blatant disrespect that happens.
well, and
I
the
mean,
sad thing,
that's
I had a great
relation.
rapport.
Yeah.
And so the first thing I did when that class ended, I texted his coach. And
Coaches, we appreciate
Yes.
you when you do, when you.
FYI,
Yeah.
this is what happens. And I think there were lines. They had to run lines. And so, you know, okay, you give me that finger, which hasn't been the only finger
At
I've
least it's
gotten
that finger.
in a while. But yes, that. And it's like he didn't even know he was doing anything wrong. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
So, teacher burnout.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there
Do
do
you
you have
have-
others?
Do you have a shout? I don't know. I'm just. Do you have
Shout-outs?
any shout outs?
My 3rd hour class, I got nothing but raving of reviews from your sub.
Oh, wow.
I know. I was very, very excited about
That's
that.
awesome.
So I even got a message from the sub about that. So that helps me out a lot, especially after being gone for a couple days,
Sure.
not having to come back and read other
Mm-hmm.
sub notes that I did,
Yeah.
which we will be discussing next week. Just FYI, you know who you are. So,
I have 3 shout outs.
ooh.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Number 1, shout out to all of the teachers out there.
You guys are wonderful.
It's a hard job. So thank you for doing what you do and making a difference every day and continue.
Underappreciated, for
Yeah.
sure.
Underappreciated, underpaid, underrated. Thank you. Shout out number 2. I forgot.
What about counselors?
Hey, it's Counselors
It's
Week
Counselor
this week. I
Week.
forgot about that.
I
Thank you
didn't get to
to
celebrate.
our wonderful
She is
counselor.
amazing.
She's awesome. So shout out to her. And shout out to the Chiefs. Whoop, whoop. Go
Okay.
get them. Super Bowl. Super
Okay.
Bowl weekends.
It is. Better
And
be
again,
tuned
thank you to Burnham Creations. Go look them up on Facebook. Get your tumblers. Tumblers here.
in. And other gifts.
And other gifts.
Unique
gifts.
gifts.
Yes, that's right.
Final bell?
You know what? Yeah, it's the final. You got schooled. Deuces. Are you going to stop it? Are you starting this
No,
already?
I'm testing.
Oh.
Testing.
I feel like we need to have some light.
Do you want to move your lamp?
There's nowhere to plug it in.
Plug it in.
We just need
plug
to
it
all
in.
buy something this weekend.
Do you want to go in front of the mirror? Or the window?
No.
To the wall!
Skate my. Skate.
Those were your own sound effects.
They were.
That's awesome.